here's a quick look at what the baseball postseason is going to look like. 16 teams across 4 rounds. First round will be 3-game series with every game taking place at the home field of the higher seed, followed by the traditional format for the remaining round. So quickly, Jeff, walk us through how this got done and the thinking behind the decision.
Greeny, this really came together in the past week. And let's remember, back when they were arguing over money and we didn't know whether there was going to be a season, one of the chips on the table was expanded playoffs. It's a mutually beneficial thing, though. It's not just for the owners who are going to be reaping money from it this year and beyond. It's good for players, too, because in the offseason, if you have 16 playoff teams, that is so many more teams that believe they can get into the postseason. And especially when that first round is only 3 games, we know anything can happen in baseball in a short series. And the idea of an 8 beating a 1 of the worst team of the playoffs going and beating the best team is very realistic. So those teams are going to want to go and spend more in free agency. And in the end, I think both the players and the league are happy that this got done.
To be clear, though, however, this is something they've only agreed to for this season. What is your expectation beyond that?
Yeah, you know what? Pandora's box is open, man. Like, if it's happening this year, it is going to happen going forward. And we also have to look at the long-term implications of this. Major League Baseball would be, a league that has more than half the teams making the playoffs. I think this long-term paves the way for expansion where you get 2 more teams. You can potentially, via new franchise fees, reap some of the money that was lost during the coronavirus pandemic, and you can get back to having half the teams make the playoffs as opposed to more than that.
And then the other big star, on a day filled with all sorts of news around the sport, several hours before the game, you break the story that Juan Soto, the young superstar for the Nationals, tests positive, so he misses last night. Take us through what happened there. And look, we all knew this was inevitable, so they got a test of it right on the first day. How did this all go?
Yeah, I mean, of all the days for this to happen, of all the players for this to happen to, Juan Soto testing positive was a blow to the Washington Nationals and to opening day, frankly. They lost Anthony Rendon to the Los Angeles Angels this offseason, and Juan Soto is expected to be the fulcrum of that offense. They're hoping that the coronavirus positive was a false positive because he took 2 point-of-care tests yesterday, and in taking those, both came back negative. Now, in order for him to get back on the field, he needs 2 Major League Baseball sanctioned tests to come back negative, and he needs to wait 24 hours between them. So we're not going to see him for at least a few days, but if one of those comes back positive, they could be missing their best player for quite a while, and that's what the Nationals are thinking right now. Mike Rizzo, their general manager, said, we don't expect him back on the field for a while.
Now, that's what this season is going to look like in so many different ways. Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.